Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. I know some of you were expecting me to play more Root Trees, and that will happen. Just need a bit of a break. So what we're doing today is my latest hyperfixation is... Let me just fix this real quick. Lancer. Lancer is a TTRPG by Massive... it's Massive something. I think it's Massive Arts. I could be wrong. MASSIF. Massive Press. Duh. Because they publish things. That makes more sense. It is set in the very far future. It's very Eclipse phase and Warhammer 40k, but not as bleak. But the main thing is that your character is a Lancer. There's someone who has a mech that, because everything is 3D printed in the future, it's by licenses, and when you license out to the mech themselves, you can then 3D print, and every mech becomes a unique thing for your character, because no one else has the same mech as you, due to the variations of licensing and what things you choose to equip. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start a character off at license level 0, which is where you start for character creation, and go all the way to license level 12. What I'm using right now is called the CompCon. It is a free bit of software that Massive released that basically does what D&D Beyond does for the D&D things, where it basically helps you create everything and even helps you run the game. Because I'll show it a bit. You can go into the actual missions, and it will keep track of hit points of the max hit points of your character, and things like that. So we're going to start with creating a new pilot. Yay! Let's find a random pilot here. I like the dude with the hammer and the suit. Let's do that. His head got cut off, but that's fine. Name. We're going to do random as much as we can. Leonard. He looks like a Leonard. Alright. I'm going to roll a d20 for anything that's going to be a general random thing instead of just clicking ones, because sometimes clicking ones isn't fun. And I got a 20, so we're going to do 20 times on the call sign. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Abaya? What does abaya even mean? Let's double check this to make sure I'm not appropriating shit. Type of large eel. We're gonna do one more. Come on, give me something good. Hoodwink. We can go with hoodwink. Alright, background. They got a bunch of them. Again, handy dandy 20. A dragon's bone. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Penal colonist. Oh, poor hoodwink. You were a criminal. So yeah, background doesn't really do much in the game. It doesn't give you anything mechanically. What it does is you'll find during the game that you get... if you're going to be making a role where being a penal colonist helps, you'll get something called an accuracy, which is an extra d6 to give you onto your roll. And if you... something where penal colonist would be a detriment, then you get a difficulty, which is a negative d6, and those will cancel each other out, because you can basically get 5 positives and 4 negatives. They all cancel each other out to have 1 positive. We don't need to do that stuff. We're just doing the generic stuff. Alright, so 4 points remaining, must have a minimum of 4 skills. So we get 4 skills to start off with. Applying fist to faces, key thing. Again, For skills, none of these are like set in stone. These are all just suggestions. You can create your custom skill triggers. And what a skill trigger does is, again, if you are in pilot side of things, because pilot side is very much more narrative. If you are doing something that a skill trigger applies to, you get an advantage to it. And that can be both the same. If I'm fighting dirty, then applying fist to faces and being a penal consultative will give me 2 advantages. You only ever choose 1. So even if I get like 17 advantages and I'm rolling 17d6 on top of my d20, I'm only choosing whichever rolls the highest. Odds are it's going to be a 6 with 17 d6s, but we all have been there with the random number generator has said no. Let's threaten. I'm going to show off. We can get one more. Let's do patch. Okay, so now we get our talents. So these are the more mechanical things, and they're all a talent tree of 3, where you have to have the lower talent to get the higher talents. My camera is frozen, because why wouldn't it be? There we go. Hi, everybody. And these are all different things. Like Ace is all about, having your mech fly, and when your mech's flying, you get benefits. Bonded, you choose another character and you gain benefits to them. Brawler, grappling and improvised attacks. Brutal just helps you with criticals. Crack shot, Centimane deals with, in the world of Lancer, there's things called nexuses, or nexi, I guess would be called, which are essentially nano swarms mixed with tiny little drone like clouds that you can attack with. Combined arms is having a range and a melee. Duelist is mainly melee. Drone commander. Engineer is for doing the fun stuff of creating like a prototype weapon. Executioner is basically having the biggest sword. Exemplar is your paladin type thing. Gunslinger, a lot of these like grease monkey, hacker, all of these heavy gunner. Hunter, infiltrator, juggernaut. Juggernaut's all for running through things because I'm the juggernaut bitch. Leader, nuclear cavalier is for running the red line on your mech. Siege specialist is destroying cover and buildings. Skirmisher is for getting right up and close. Spotter is for helping out. Stormbringer is for spotters helping out like snipers. Stormbringer is for setting up missiles and launchers. Tactician is basically sneak attack and focusing around that. Technophile gives you a NHP, which is non-human person. It's basically an AI for your mech. Vanguard is all about being close and being the first one through the wall. Walking Armory just gives you a shit ton more ammo and things like that to switch out to. Spaceborne helps you maneuver your mech in space. Black Thumb is basically being an insane engineer of getting out of your mech during combat to help fix it. House Guard helps you protect people. Pancrati is a type of it goes with that. It's the Royal Caracas baronies have that as a type of fighting style. Empath is being able to read your enemies. So for Hoodwink, where should we go? I kind of want to do... Well, I'm going to do what I was kind of planning to anyway. I'm going to decide that Hoodwink became the leader of his own gang, and then he's using this to basically... He's trying to be better. Good old Hoodwink here. He's trying to be a better person. So we'll grab a leader. We'll grab House Guard, because House Guard's good about being cover for your allies and helping to flank them. And then let's do Juggernaut. His whole thing is, I'm going to be the big thing to get into your way. So House Guard gives us front rank. You count as adjacent when you are within range 2 for purposes of effects on allied characters, traits, talents, systems, and weapons that require adjacency to your mech. We'll get into that later. To do leadership, or well, I think Juggernaut. Leader. There you go. Leader. Gain 3 leadership die, kind of like a bard's inspiration. You give a leader as a free action on your turn or order. And then you can give that die to them, and then if they are following that order, they can use that die to gain an accuracy. And then Juggernaut, when you boost your next ram attack before the start of your next turn, gains +1 accuracy and knocks your target back an additional 2 bases. So boosting is like dashing in D&D, where it's using one of your actions to get closer to the enemy. So basically you can move normally, boost, and then ram somebody to like send them flying. Alrighty. So then we have skills. These skills are basically your skills or your saves for using the mechs. You have hull, agility, systems, and engineering. Hull is all about your durability, like your constitution style, if we're talking D&D, about taking hits and shrugging things off. Agility is dodging things out of the way. Systems is actually using the systems on your mech in order to like clear out or defend yourself against attacks, or like hacking attacks. And engineering is both your heat, making sure that the physical things of the mech are working properly. And the more you have in the skill, the benefit you get passively as well. So for every point in hull, you gain HP on your mech, and for every 2 points, you gain a repair capacity. Repair capacity is a limited number of times you can spend points you can spend to fix up your mech during combat or between combat during a mission itself, before you can basically go back to base and fully restock. Agility has evasion, which is how hard it is to hit your mech, and speed. Systems have electronic defense, which is again what people use when they're trying to hack you, and then you gain tech attack and system points, I believe. Let's do this real quick. Okay, so yeah, you gain a tech attack and electronic defense for each one, and then okay, that's what the lines are. Gotcha. And then system points you gain for every 2. You gain a system points. System points is how much equipment and things like that you can actually install upon your mech. And then engineering is heat capacity, because when you start overheating, bad things happen to your mech. And then limited systems bonuses, and if I have, say, drones, then I'll have a certain number of drones I can send out of my mech each mission. If I do this, I get +1 to that, so all my drones have 1 extra essential capacity. But we're going for hull. Hoodwink is meant to go rushing in and slamming into people as a Juggernaut. He wants to basically, I want to maximize my hit points and my repair capacity. And there we go. Here's Hoodwink. Simple enough, right? So now we create Hoodwink, and now we go to the mech hangar. Let's add a new mech. So, because I'm license level 0, I only have access to the GMS licenses. GMS is General Massive Systems. They are essentially the government subsidized. I have succumbed to my, yes, very much, Tesla. I have succumbed to my urge to play with answer. So General Massive Systems are the government licensed ones, who send out all their stuff for free. It is essentially your starting equipment. And there are 2 starting frames I can choose from. The Everest, which is the very much generic frame of Doom. It is good at everything, jack of all trades. And then the Sagamartha. The Sagamartha is a bit heavier, and it has an ability called Guardian, but because of that, it loses out on some of the other benefits. But again, Juggernaut or Hoodwink is meant to be a Guardian character. Let's roll randomly for the name. Aging well. All right. So welcome on in, Teslan. Yes, Teslan is heard me last night go on and on and on about Lancer, because again, I got bit by the bug. I've had this. I kickstarted this book. I've had it for years. Routinely, I will think about it again, and it will start like flooding back through my system, and me craving to play it. So the Sagarmatha is a size 2. The Everest is only a size 1. What that means is humans are size 1/2, and then they fill up essentially 1 hex on the map. Size 1 also fills up 1 hex and is about twice as big as a human. Like, if you picture a normal person standing, they're about waist height on a size 1 mech. Size 2 is a bit bigger than that, fills up 3 hexes because of that, and then size 3 fills up, like, again, I think 6 hexes, some 5 or 6 hexes, some massive amount. Size 3 is the biggest size of mech in the game. There are size 4, like, animals for, like, kaiju stuff that goes around, but size 3 is the biggest size of mechs. My features of the Sagarmatha is the big one we want is Guardian. Adjacent allies can use the Sagarmatha as hard cover. As a reminder, because we have that House Guard talent, adjacent means within 2 ranges of me. So they don't have to be right next to me. They just have to be within 2 ranges of my bigger stat block here, and that will lock them down. Heroism, once per scene, I can brace without sacrificing any actions or movement on its following turn. Basically, once per encounter, I can brace, which basically removes, gives me resistance to all incoming attacks from an attack. But normally, what that does is that means you have a limited actions to do next turn, and it's usually easier to just take the damage and then get a full turn next. Actually, let's set the mech image as well. Here's all the different mechs in the game. Let's go with this chunky boy for right now. And then replaceable parts. While resting, Sagarmatha can be repaired at a rate of 1 repair per structure point instead of 2. So, as always, you have a repair capacity. I've got 5 on the Sagarmatha right now. You can basically spend a point to restore your mech to full hit points. And you can do that either by burning a full turn of yours in combat, or by between combats when you're resting, sprinting a point. If you actually anytime you lose hit points all the way down to 0, you start taking structure damage, which is this over here. When the structure hits 0, then you're just destroyed. So you basically have 4 times that you can like recycle through your hit points. But you can, because of the GMS being so ubiquitous, I can just spend a repair capacity to get the structure back up and running, which is kind of good. And here's the thing. There are something like 30 mechs in this game, through all the different, expansions and everything. And it is still... There's still people who play with just the GMS mechs the entire way because of stuff like replaceable parts. You really can just make it everything of your own. So going down the stat block, we have structure. Again, that's how many times that we can, recycle through our hit points. Armor always reduces from incoming damage unless that has armor piercing. So I have 1 armor right now. You usually only have 1 to 2, maybe even 3 armor. There is a frame out there that gets up to 6. It's ridiculous, and it's amazing. Stress. Stress is what happens when your heat hits maximum. So when your heat goes up to... I have a heat capacity of 6. When I go over 6 heat, I take a point of stress. And again, when you stress hits 0 at that point, your mech will overload and explode. Repair capacity I went over. Attack bonus, just what it sounds like. As you level up, half your level, rounded up, becomes grit. And that grit adds a bunch of bonuses across the board. Tech attack is using hacking systems to attack somebody. Limited system bonus is basically, again, bonuses to like drones and that kind of stuff. Speed, how fast you move. The Everest moves faster because this one's a bit more durable. Evasion, how hard it is to hit you. They got to roll a d20 plus their attack bonus over your evasion. So my evasion is 8. I'm going to be hit a lot more than normal, but again, I've got that armor to help me through. E-defense, how hard it is to hack you. Again, 8, a little bit under half. That's not the best. Sensor range, a lot of things are factoring into, like when you're commanding drones or when you're doing like tech attacks and things like that. They have to be somebody within sensor range. And then save target is if someone has to save against what you're doing, this is what they're saving against. So if you have an effect that they have to make a hull save or an agility save, it comes against the save target. Core systems. Every mech has a core system. This is your big once per mission blowout thing. You can usually activate it as either a quick action or for free. So this one is you raise the rallying banner. All allied creatures in line of sight of your mech when you do this gain resistance to all damage and heat and gain +1 accuracy on all checks and saves. This effect lasts until the end of your next turn. So until the end of my next turn, when I spend this thing, everyone is basically getting a big defensive bonus, which, perfect, love it. And here we go. Here comes the actual fun parts. We're going to readjust real quick. So I have 3 mounts on this mech. I have a main mount, a flex mount, and a heavy mount. Weapons come in 4 sizes. I'm cutting off the top of my head. Boop. Weapons come in 4 sizes. Auxiliary, which is basically lighter things like pistols or tinier weapons. Main, heavy, and super heavy. Obviously, main amounts can fit a main or auxiliary weapon. A flex mount is either an main weapon or 2 auxiliary weapons. Heavy mounts fit a heavy weapon. A super heavy weapon takes up a heavy mount and an additional mount. So that'll wipe out 2 mounts themselves. They're really good, but they're really heavy. The other type of mount that is not listed here that you'll see is a main/aux mount. And that is a mount that actually can handle both a main weapon and, in that same mount, an auxiliary weapon. And if you're ever attacking with a weapon in a mount and that has an auxiliary weapon also in that same mount, you can attack with both of them at the same time on the turn. So let's see, what do I want to do? We want to give, let's do this. We're going to do a heavy melee weapon. What's the heaviest thing I can do on this? Charge blade. So threat is basically how far out it can attack. It does 1d3 plus 3. This is only main melee. Let's do heavy charge blade. It's 1d6 plus 3. And has armor piercing. That might be good. I think it's our bit. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's go with the heavy charge blade. And there are 3 types of damage. There's energy, kinetic, or explosive. And those are different symbols. For main, let's do a shotgun. CQB basically means that it's has shorter range, but it has a threat range, so like you can use it if somebody is getting close. Let's equip that. It's gonna be kinetic damage, and then flex weapon. Let's grab. These are auxiliary, right? Yeah. Let's grab double missile racks because why? Oh no, loading. We don't want that. So we're gonna do a light Nexus instead. Nexus is again, it's like words. They are nanoswarms and like tiny drone swarms. And this one has they usually have the smart tag. This is all automatically going to hit unless you can scramble against them. And that means so instead of attacking its evasion, it attacks their E defense. So let's equip that, and because it's auxiliary, I can do another one, and we're just going to double up. So now basically, during combat, I can either, if I'm in melee, hit with a giant melee sword. If I am within 5 range, I can shoot them with a shotgun. And if they are nearby me and are moving through that range, I can spend a reaction to shoot them again with a shotgun. Or if they were within 10 range, I can hit them with both of my nexi. Now we have systems that we can go through. So these are the different systems. The CompCon assistant basically means that you can give orders to your mech while doing other things yourself. Custom paint job. Actually, it's pretty good. When you take structure damage, roll a d6. On a 6, you return to 1 HP and ignore the damage. The hit simply scratched your paint. So yeah, we're going to get ourselves a custom paint job. And I think personalization, if I remember correctly, gives you extra HP. So we're going to quick personalizations. Gonna lurk, gonna be working on writing a proposal I've got to get done tonight. No worries, Teslin. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the lurk. Yeah, keep me on in the background. It's just gonna be me ranting about this kind of stuff and then putting it up on YouTube. So I just used up 2 of my 6 system points. Remember, you can get more system points by increasing your systems. So if you had a bunch of different systems you want to use, that's the skill you want to go for. Let's see. I want turret drones because they're nice. 2 system points cost. You can, as a quick action, deploy a turret drone. And then you have 3 limited ones. So I only have 3 drones I can use per adventure, basically, until I get to go back and restock. For when I'm talking about different actions, you always have a move action as part of your turn, and then you have a full action, 1 full action or 2 quick actions. So full actions are bigger things like attacking with heavier weapons, or doing a bunch of bigger things, or 2 quick actions. Like one might be attacking with, like, as a quick action I can attack with my entire flex mount. Or I remember where it said do the ram attack for Juggernaut. That can be a quick action to boost, which is run up, and then another quick action to ram and then slam into somebody. So as long as I am beelining at somebody, I can slam into them and send them flying. And I have how many points left? I have 2 points left. Can't get a flight system, unfortunately. I can get a protected shield, though. So this throw as a protocol, which is a free action every turn. I can nominate a character. Ranged melee attacks they make against you and you make against them gain +2 difficulty. I can basically throw up a shield on my mech and say, from this character, they can't hurt me that much. I can't hurt them either. Doing so gives me a heat every turn I use it, though, so I got to be careful. But there we go. That, as they say, is that. How do I get back to palette sheet, active mode? It's active mode. Oh, right, my gear. I also got to do that. This thing is a lot less important. Let's go to the one for armor. This is all personal gear I'm going to have. Let's have a big old sword. A lot of these things aren't going to come into play because they are things that used, while pilots are attacking, which is mainly narrative prey. But if they come through it, patch will help cure me. With him going leader, I think he also has corrective, which helps save people. And what's a prosocollar? I don't need one of those. Tertiary arm's always fun. Handheld printer, because it's always good to have stuff. All right. And then I can set this as my active mech. Ta-da! And now we level up. License level 1, continue. So I get 1 extra skill point. I can level up any of my existing skills or gain something new. I'm going to say again, he's been stepping into being the leader, so we have, where is it? There's take control. He starts doing that. He's going to get a talent point. Leader would be nice, but I want to focus on house guard right now because I want to be as protective as possible for people. Second tier, if your mech gains the Guardian tree, doesn't have it, and Guardian now grants soft cover to all adjacent allies from all directions. Basically, if they are within 2 of me now, of any mech I pilot, they will gain soft cover, which gives them a what's it in the thingamabob, which gives them a difficulty to attack them. So as long as my allies are within 2 spaces of my mech, they everyone gets a negative D6 in order to attack them. We're gonna keep on doing this. I want to max this out before going other places. And now comes the glorious part: picking your licenses. There are a lot of mechs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 17, 27, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 37. 37 different mechs. Just a bit. Just a skosh. And basically what each one does is it's broken down into 3 license levels. The first one gives you a taste of what the mech can do. The second one gives you the mech frame itself, so you can print a new one instead of the GMS one that you've been using. And then the third one gives you like the high class gear for that frame. My big one, which is going to seem a little weird at first, but I need you to stick with me, is we're going to go with Black Witch. The reason we're going with Black Witch is right here, the Orcus frame. That's an alternate frame to the Black Witch itself. So alternate frames exist as side things you can get in place of. So we're going to unlock Black Witch 1, continue. I don't get a core bonus. Let's update the pilot record. I can duplicate it. So now we can go in and so yeah, we have now, because we have grit and grit starts getting added to things, we have an additional system point. These are all staying the same. We get +1 to attack now. Tech bonus goes off of systems. My HP goes up, everything like that. But we also don't need... So first things first, the shotgun is going to go away. Because now we get the magnetic cannon, which is part of our... a license from Black Witch. And what the magnetic cannon does is it's a line 8, so everyone in an 8 line gets dealt 1d3 damage. And all characters within the affected area must succeed on a hull save or be pulled 1d3 plus 1 spaces towards you or as close as possible. So we're going to equip that. That is now our big thing. Again, goes back with the heavy charge blade where I can zap somebody with this gun and drag them over to me. And also, we need to clear up some things. Let's just get rid of this. We're not really focusing on the turrets. They're not doing well for us, so let's drop that. We now have 3 system points to deal with. And we get the Ferris Lash for 2. Ferris Lash is as a quick action. Choose a character within range 8 and line of sight. If they're allied, you can pull them 5 space in any directions for free. If they are hostile, they must succeed on an agility save or be pulled 5 spaces. So I can basically slam them into walls or other people, and if I do that, they stop moving and are knocked prone. So let's equip the Ferris Lash. And now we still have the 1 point left. What do we have that we can do? Let's do expanded compartment. Let's get the ability to put another person in our mech if we need to. It's not going to last for long because we're going to probably be switching out to the Orcus next level, but just in case. So there's our updated second level. Now during combat, Hoodwink is focused on moving people around, of pulling them in close so that he can attack them with his giant sword, of slamming people into any cover or other people they see. And we level up again. So 1 skill point remaining. We're going to keep on taking control. Like he's really leaning into the leadership thing. We are finishing off House Guard as our talent. Now we have Shield of the Legion. Once per round, when you reduce damage to an allied character, cancel an attack against them, or cause one to miss, you may deal 2 energy damage to the attacker and knock them prone. So now, because of my Guardian bonus to people, if they get the extra difficulty from this, they are going to be, if they miss from that attack, I can do 2 damage to them and knock them prone. And something really important is about to happen. We're going to keep on leveling this up until we've maxed this out. Again, we could switch out to a different license if we wanted, but we're not doing that. We are unlocking the second tier of this because... And continue. Update. Alright, Mech Hanger. The aging well has done very good for us. It's time to change that. We're going to add a new mech. We can do the Orcus. Grab a new name. Tongues of God sounds dirty. We're not doing that one. Necessary, therefore possible. I like that. Let's switch over to it. So this is my favorite mech in the game. I love this thing so much. It looks cool. It's designed after like a Roman gladiator style. But its abilities are perfect parry. The Orcus and all adjacent allies, remember adjacent is within 2 spaces of me now, have immunity to all damage and effects from missed attacks. So if an attack misses my mech or misses anyone else, but still like from an explosion or because it's like has something of a tag called reliable, which some like the miniguns have, that would still do damage, that just doesn't. And again, this would trigger the House Guard talent I just got, which would do damage and knock people prone. This is size 1, so I'm a bit tinier, but I have the same amount of armor. Guardian, I still have the Guardian, so he uses hardcover. Royal Guard, I really love this ability as well. When an allied mech against the Orcus moves, when allied mech adjacent to the Orcus moves, again, adjacent means within 2 now, the Orcus can also move with that character as long as it doesn't break adjacency, mirroring the character's movement. Still affected by obstructions, and between his turns can only move in other spaces of speed +1. This effect doesn't take a reaction, doesn't provoke reactions, or obey engagement. So I can basically pick somebody that I'm protecting, and as they move about the battlefield on their turn, I'm moving with them to always keep that Guardian bonuses on them. And then for the core bonus, the core system, we have some great things on this one. So, passive is Hunting Eagle. I love this. Just something that happens all the time with this mech. Once per round, when the Orcus causes a character to collide with another obstacle or character, you can, in addition to other effects, throw your mech's Scooter Shield, this thing, dealing 3 kinetic damage and rendering them unable to take reactions till the end of their next turn. The shield then returns to you. It doesn't take an action or reaction to activate. So once per turn, when I, say, use the Ferris Lash to slam them into a wall, I can Captain America them in the forehead with this shield and snap it back to my arm. I also have Juggernaut, so that if I ram them, I send them flying, and they, if they hit the wall or another person, then I Captain America them with the shield for free, just doing additional extra stuff. Now I'm losing attack on this, but I am having higher evasion, higher E defense, and a bit higher speed, which is good. I only have one loadout here, though, so I have a bit of a problem. I'm losing my big heavy sword, but that's fine. So my main weapon will probably still be the magnetic cannon. I like the ability of moving that around, and let's keep this as a melee weapon, which is going to do a lot less damage now, but still give me that ability. And I've got Overkill for that. What Overkill is, whenever you roll a 1 on the damage die, so my 1d3, if I roll 1, I can take a heat. I take heat, and I get to reroll the die. And I'll keep on doing that if there's additional ones. Hopefully not, because that would burn through my mech. But it basically gives me a chance to get more reliable damage. And systems. Oh, you know we're grabbing the Ferris Lash. And now we have the Ice Out Drone and Perimeter Plate. The Ice Out Drone, basically, as a drone I can drop down to make anything in an area around it immune from tech attacks, but also unable to make tech attacks. Now, I'm not making tech attacks, so I can drop this drone down and help protect me from tech attacks. And also move it around. So there's an enemy who's hacking. I can keep this drone on their ass and make them unable to use their tech attacks. And then the final one we got from the licensing is the Perimeter Plate. I pop it down on the ground. It's a size 2 area. And then I get to choose a setting when I print this out, because I basically have a printer that makes this, and I drop it down. Oh, my camera's frozen. Hi. Sorry about that. I get so excited I keep forgetting to check that. When I print that down, I get to choose either Repulse or Attract. Attract basically sticks people to it. If they fail a hull save, they cannot move. Our Repulse sends them flying 3 spaces. And again, if they land on it and fly 3 spaces into another mech or a wall, I get to hit them in the head with my shield. I love this mech for this everything about this mech I love. So let's equip that. What else how much do I have left on points? I have 3 points left. So we're definitely getting the personalizations to get the extra HP, because I like HP, believe it or not. So HP is 9. That's a solid HP for this mech, especially because it's size 1. And I have 2 more points left. I could get the turret drones back. Custom paint job is 1. We're going to do this one. We're going to get the deployable cover. It is... I deploy 2 sections of size 1 hardcover in a free space adjacent to you and to each other. The section is an object... Repairing the system repairs both sections. I don't think this is limited. That's perfect. So now... that doesn't give me a limited effect, so I just keep on doing this. Deploy 2 sections. Each section is 5. Can be targeted for section. Can be picked up again as a full action. Repairing the system restores both sections. Okay, yeah, so basically I can only do this once. I can print it out and then put it away. So now I can drop my own cover onto the field, and then, using Ferris Lash, the mag cannon, a ram, I can slam people into it. Again, you can see where I'm building for too. Because then when I slam people into it, I hit them in the head with my scooter shield. By the way, that is just the passive. The active is I hurl my shield with a mighty throw at a mech, allied or hostile, with range 6, and make a special ram attack that cannot miss and knocks the target 3 spaces back instead of 1. This can cause characters to collide with obstructions as normal. This effect is efficient and refunds it at the end of the scene. So I can use this every combat essentially once. And again, it's a ram attack. I have the Juggernaut talent. So if I boost and then do this as a quick action, that ram attack is moving them back 5 spaces instead of 1. 1 is the normal, and I'm sending them back launching 5 spaces. So it's great for, because it doesn't do actual damage. I can do it to allies or hostile. I can Captain America shield people to get them out of there, or I can hit somebody to get them off one of my allies and slam them into a wall. And again, if I can slam them in a wall, and I haven't done it yet once per round, I can then smack them in the head again with the shield to do 3 kinetic damage. It just keeps on building. And there is my mech. There is the necessary, therefore possible. I call her Nessie for short. So now we got to do this. I got to go back to pilot roster because I have to go to the mech roster, then mech hanger. Nope, that's not what we're doing. And now we're going to set this as our active mech. And then we level up again. 12 is the maximum. So this is going to be our last thing, getting the Orcus. We'll then have to just keep on going. And I get a core bonus from this. I'll explain those when I get those. I'm going to give a bonus to Patch. 1 talent, once remaining. Houses all the way through. Let's get to Juggernaut. Second one is once per round, if you ram into a target, a space occupied by another character, the other character must see a hull save or be knocked prone, so I can knock them both prone. Obstruction large enough to stop the movement, your target takes 1d6 damage. So again, that's all keeps on benefiting for me with Juggernaut now, is that I am ramming them into walls and doing extra damage and hitting them with a shield when I'm ramming them into walls. We've almost maxed out our mech. And we are doing the final one of the Black Witch, which gives us 2 more things, which I will explain in a second. And we get a core bonus. Now, the core bonus is basically something you get every 3 license levels, and is just a very good general bonus to things. The general massive systems you'll always have access to, but to get an IPS North Star, a Smith Shimano Corpo, a Horus, or a Harrison Armory one, you have to have, for every core bonus, 3 levels in their mechs and licenses. So if you stay dedicated to one company, you get to have massive amounts of core bonuses from them. Let's check the Smith Shimano ones. I can fly around, which would be nice. 2 evasion is solid. Actually, yeah, because we're going. Let's do that one. We're grabbing that one. We're getting 2 evasions. Update. Mech hanger. Because now we're at +2 on the attack bonus. I've got a system point I can spend. So now we gotta make some decisions here, which kind of sucks and is good, but kind of sucks at the same time. Because I am running out of things. I don't have enough system bonuses to get what I need. So let's remove the deployable cover. At this point, seeing the benefits of the deployable cover, some of the other members of his crew have gone into making covers of their own. So that gives us 3 points. And the 2 new things we gain are the Black Ice module, tech attack against me and allied adjacent characters, Adjacent, within the 2 now because of the house guard, are +1 difficulty, and then basically every time it happens, it goes up by 1 difficulty. That's going to use all 3 of our points. We also have magnetic shield. This system creates a line 4 force field, 4 spaces high. It's an obstruction that are made out of metal, so basically I can create a wall. Doesn't block line of sight, but provides soft color cover, and characters gain resistance to kinetic and explosive damage will benefit from this cover. So this is I need to have this one. So I need to free up 5 points to have both of these. So let's do this. Let's equip the black ice module because we want the adjacent benefits, and then we've got to come up with 2 more. We can get rid of the PCP, and we are going to grab the magnetic shield instead. So this, at level 3, is our mech. We're focusing more on protecting people at this point and having other people set up the cover for us. 22 hit points. Gotta love it. Alright, that is level 3. We've been going for about an hour. Let's see if we can pick up the pace a little bit as we level up. Let's grab Assault. We're basically a mercenary at this point. Let's finish up Juggernauts. Unstoppable Force. Once per round, when you boost, you may supercharge your mech servos. Move your maximum speed in a straight line. Take 1d3 plus 3 heat and gain the following benefit. You can freely pass through characters of the same size or as your mech are smaller. Any characters you pass through must succeed on a hull save or be knocked prone. Any terrain, walls, or other stationary object you attempt to pass through receive 20 kinetic AP. That is enough. If that is enough to destroy them, you pass through. Otherwise, your movement ends. You ignore difficult terrain. Your movement ignores engagement and doesn't provoke reactions. You get to, once per round, be the Juggernaut bitch and just run through everything. I like it. Let's do that. We have now completed the hull skill points. We're getting plus 12 to our mech's HP. And our repair capacity is 3. And now, we can't do the Black Witch anymore. We just simply can't. There's just too much. So we got a couple options. We have the White Witch, which is a solid one. And would keep us within SSC. So that'd give us bonuses. We also have the Saladin, which also is protecting fields and protecting people. But given the fact that, yeah, let's go with White Witch. We still have no core bonuses. Let's update that. We don't have a new mech yet, but let's go to the mech hangar and let's see what we can add. Get no actual bonuses there. So here comes the part where things really start breaking down, not in the bad way, but in the way of I gotta make decisions. Well, it was actually kind of a bad choice. I fully admit this, because at least right now, the main things I got were a ferrofluid lance. Let's check this out. Once per round, I can fling it at people? What is this? Once per round, you may force a character to make a hull save. It's a failure, both you and are immobilized. The duration. On a subsequent turn, you can end this effect as a protocol, knocking your target. Okay, that's what is happening. So yeah. I now have a threat 2. It's basically a melee weapon again. 1d6. I can immobilize myself and an enemy. So if we're doing that, let's replace this segment knife with something a bit more ranged. Let us add in a missile rack, because why not? And then let's drop that real quick. We also have Pinning Spire. You and one of the character within range 3 become immobilized. We don't want to grab this right now, but we will probably keep this for next level. So let's grab the personalizations back, equip those, and again, that's level 4. We level up to 5. Let's just grab Assault. We've already finished up Juggernaut. Let's start focusing on Leader. Now, instead of the 3 dice I normally have, I have 5 dice. And I can, as a reaction at the start of other players' turns, give them or issue commands. Continue. Now we're going to start working on agility. We're going to keep the White Witch going. Because now we get to do... for that. We update. Now go back to the mech hanger. We're going to add a new mech. And now we can do a white match. Random name. Epistle of Mayhem. No. Jennings Grey Goose. Sure. Okay, so the White Witch is a size 2, so we're much bigger now. We've upped our size a bit, back to what we were in the Sagamortha. Our big things are rooted. When this mech is immobilized, it has resistance to kinetic damage and cannot be knocked back or knocked prone. It can choose to become immobilized until the end of its next turn as a protocol. Harden. When the White Witch braces, it gains overshield equal to 4 plus grit. So right now that is... something that lists where my grid is. I think it's just 3. So it's going to be 7 points of overshield. That's like temporary hit points on top of everything else. Fluid Burst. When an allied character in range 2 of the Witch takes damage from a hostile source, the Witch can reduce all damage by 1 and deal 1 AP kinetic damage to itself. So it ignores armor but does deal damage to itself. But again, if it's braced, it's got 4 plus grit. Guardian. Always important to have Guardian for my mechs. And then here comes the big thing. Each time you take damage from yourself or hostile source, even if that damage is reduced or ignored, you gain +1 armor up to maximum of 6. So now we're changing things around a little bit. This mech focuses on rooting itself into place and then rooting an opponent in place as well. And every time they get hit... so every time people around it get hit, it starts gaining armor up to a maximum of 6, which is going to be ridiculous. And with this one, the Fluid Burst ability, if somebody nearby, adjacent to me, which again, within range 2 anyway, so never mind. So range 2, someone nearby me takes damage, I take 1. I can reduce that point of damage by 1 and take 1 point myself. Then with the, it's armor, it would ignore the armor, but again, with this overshield of the brace, it just keeps on accumulating. So my whole goal right now is to brace as soon as possible, get that overshield, and then start picking away points from everyone else around me until my armor is now 6. And then my active boost is every time it gained +1, it would say gain +2 up to a maximum +12. +12 armor. That's basically just saying no to everything that's not armor piercing. Each time your mech deals 1 AP kinetic to all characters in burst 1, as it draws material from the environment. If your benefits from increases past with explodes instead, dealing 1 AP damage in burst 2. Arcade must sell or not prone, mobilized, shredded. This benefits from Pharaoh. Active armor resets to 0, although it continues to be active and then can be cured by speed. So basically, the whole point of this is, as I'm picking armor, I'm getting up to a huge tanky +12. When I take past that, it explodes out, does damage to everyone. So now I want to just get in the middle of everybody, which is partly why I'm upping my agility, because I want to increase that speed. And again, I've got 22 HP at this point. Alrighty. So, I have a flex mount and I have a heavy mount. Heavy mount, does it grab anything? I do not have anything big to put in the heavy mount. So, flex mount. I can grab my ferrofluid lance. This again will lock them down and basically make it so that they can. I'm within range for melee attacks. I want to lock them down. I want them to melee me because again, that starts upping my armor. Heavy weapon. Let's grab the anti-material rifle. It does a huge range, a shit ton of damage. But it's loading, which means that it's got to be reloaded after each use. So I got to basically spend a full turn reloading it. And ordnance means it has to be fired before I do any movement or else on my turn. So I've got to line this up at the end of my last turn before I can fire this. Go through the systems. Pinning Spire, again, we want to lock them down because, again, that helps them attack us, and I want them attacking us, not anybody else. Camus' Razor. Mech is capable of protecting a soft magnetic field of critical power. Prime the system's quick action. Once primed, you can use the intervention action in the rest of the scene. An allied character within range 5 is inside of attack, and then attacks me instead. So again, I can pop that every turn, and then again, I make them attack me, and attacking me is the important part. Let's keep the Ferrous Lash, because why the heck not? And the Black Ice module. I've got 1 point left. Sympathetic Shield. Project a field over character. They gain overshield equal to 4, but the damage dealt to this overshield before reduction. Yeah, absolutely, I'll grab that. Basically 3 times per combat, or 3 times per mission, sorry. I can give them thing and then take the damage instead. And again, when I take their damage, they're attacking my armor. Alrighty, and there we go. We have our new mech. So now we can set this as the active mech, and we can still go back to the other ones that if we want to. So if we're going on a mission where we're facing a lot of like mechs and everything like that, I'm going to switch out to Jennings here, because that gains benefits to weapon attacks and metal monsters. If we're going to something where like the local fauna is harassing this thing, I might switch back to Necessary, because that I that stuff applies to just anything. Let's level up. And this will get me to... stay cool. This will get me to maxing out all my initial stuff. So this gives us gain 6 inspiration die instead of 5. They can expend them to reduce damage or deal plus 1 d6 bonus damage. I think we're going to end the video here. We'll see if people like it. So now speed is increased, evasion is increased. And then we finish up the White Witch. We get another core bonus. So let's see what we got. During your turn, you're invisible. I don't want that. I want them attacking me. Move additional 2 spaces when you boost. I like that, especially with Juggernaut and everything like that. Gain plus 1 accuracy and agility saves. And range weapons increased by 3. Let's get an additional 2 space when I boost. So now, mech hanger. And go over to Jennings. My speed is 7. I can boost for 9. So I can move up to 16 spaces a turn. And then if I ram them, send them flying. Or I can move up to 16 spaces and then lock them down. My whole goal is getting them right in the middle of everything. I have no more SP, but I do have a new weapon. I have the retort loop. That's a heavy cannon. Within 10 range, does 3 kinetic damage. But when fired, the weapon deals an additional... anytime you take damage from a hostile source, you may choose to store a charge in this weapon. Fires an additional 1d6 damage, gains reliable 2 and knockback 1 for each charge stored to a maximum of 3. Once fired, it clears all charges, hit or miss. So, if I get up to 3, I'm doing reliable 6 and knocking them back 3. So let's equip that. And then let's crash the blackout module, see what else we get. Pharaoh Spike Barrier. Spray a size 2 surge of liquid into a free adjacent space. Rapidly hardens into wicked spines. It doesn't provide obstruction initially, but at the beginning of your next turn, it becomes a solid object and can be used to hard cover. First time any character would move into its space after the barrier hardens, the character takes 1d6 AP damage. Have only one barrier per time. That's solid. I think that that plus the cannon is what we got. So grab that. And that replaces the blackout ice. Alright, so yeah, we're going to end the video there. That goes through half of what we're doing. Which everything's going to be more of the same as we go all the way up to max level. I love this game. I will probably be running this game for some people soon. Not on the channel, unfortunately. I can't really run RPGs on the channel anymore. Unless I pre-record them. Which I might do for that, depending on what people like. Because basically, if I have Discord open and I'm streaming, it kills my upload. You guys have been there for my streaming problems. So, but yeah, we're calling this for right now. Thank you everyone for being here. I'll probably go back to the Root Tree soon. I needed a break from the Root Tree game, and this game has been burning in my brain. So. I love it. I love this world. I love the look of everything. It's so cool. Alrighty. Let's go to the goodbye screen and say goodbye to YouTube. Goodbye, YouTube. We'll see you guys soon.